Hello and welcome to another WhoScored.com Premier League preview. The games continue to come. The Xmas period is well and truly begun. We're talking about Tottenham versus Chelsea, which is an absolutely huge clash. No love lost between these two teams, Ben. As a Tottenham fan, how are you feeling about this game?
Terrified. Usually am when Chelsea come across to North London. It's just they just know how to beat us essentially, and so was always nervous. Now more so after this poor run of form from Tottenham.
Yeah, for sure. Well, we'll definitely come on to that. But I was speaking to a few Chelsea fans last night who were very keen to give you guys a hiding this week. I think after the 4-1 win last time out, they couldn't really celebrate because of the red card, 2 red cards, I think, and Van der Ven went off injured, didn't he? So there wasn't much in the way of ammunition to sort of rub it in your face. Whereas I think they're now looking at this like the perfect opportunity to do that. Obviously, a defeat last night for your guys, and a lot of hatred and abuse towards Ange Postecoglu. Today, he's shortened in the market to be the next Premier League manager to leave their post. There are a couple of other candidates in that market that are probably much more likely. O'Neill and Lopetegui.
The key thing there is that their games on Monday in El Sacico.
Yeah, very true. Very true.
Could get some value there.
How long do you think Postecoglu's really got? Because obviously things aren't great at Spurs at the moment.
I do think a bit of a hiding on Sunday could well be the straw that breaks the camel's back. I mean, last night was just abysmal, and we've seen it. So Tottenham fans have seen it so many times this season now. Like Brighton away, Ipswich at home, and now this. And every time Postecoglu's like, it's down to us to fix it. And it's like, it is. But you hear this now week in, week out. And you think, how long can Tottenham put up with this now? I know it's a marathon, not a sprint. You look at what happened with Arteta at Arsenal, what happened with Klopp with Liverpool. It's not going to be an immediate fix. And Tottenham have had this period where they've just had manager after manager, and there's been a cycle, and it just hasn't gone to plan at all. I mean, last season was the first time a Tottenham manager has seen out a full season since Poch's final season. So you look at the just this overhaul of manager and changing playing styles. It's never going to be a quick fix. But then what I think is going to cost Postecoglu's job is his stubbornness and his unwillingness to kind of tinker with his tactics to set up for the opposition and do what they can to break an opponent down. Last night, I think it was Bournemouth's highest XG return in a Premier League game in history. And you think Bournemouth at home is a tough game. They've beaten Arsenal, they've beaten Man City there. But to put in the performance they did, it was just shambolic. And I mean, he's not helped by injuries to key defenders, Romero and Van der Ven. But then the players just look knackered. And you got to think, why do they look knackered? You're not rotating enough. You're running them into the ground in training sessions. And when there's games every 3 days, you don't need to do that. You need to use those training sessions to recover and make sure you're hitting the ground running for the next game, not try and keep this momentum going, because that's how you're getting these muscle injuries. That's how you're getting, players down to, playing on fumes. Kulusevski looks knackered. Porro looks knackered, but you're not willing to rotate the players and use your squad, and you're running them ragged in training. And it comes back to the stubbornness, and it's just going to cost him his job.
Yeah, it's not great when you have managers like that who just outright refuse to kind of tinker, as you say. I also do think with Postecoglu, it was quite interesting at the start of the season when he was sort of giving it I always win trophies in my second season. That's the kiss of death, really. Particularly
that's going to be held over him.
Yeah, exactly, and he's got that looming now. Because is that? Do you need to win a trophy this season, basically, for this to be considered a successful season? And really, if you don't win a trophy this season, does he need to go anyway?
I don't think. Obviously, Tottenham are desperate for silverware. They haven't won anything since 2008. When obviously we're not including the Audi Cup and all that in there. I think if he doesn't win a trophy, it's not the be all and end all. But you'd like to see some sort of progression. And it was this game last season where the wheels started to fall off that unbeaten start to the season. And And since then, there hasn't really been much in the way of improvements. I mean, he's hamstrung by poor recruitment in the summer, I feel. I don't think they strengthened. They need a backup goalkeeper. They need at least one more centre back, you feel, one that could really challenge Romero and Van der Ven and step in and there not be such a dip in quality at the back, which I think is now really coming to the fore. Especially, I mean, when you look at it, you're in December and you're starting Fraser Forster and Ben Davies. Like, that's just an indictment of just poor recruitment over the summer. And I do feel sorry for Ange because, he's got this poor recruitment that's lingered over him. But then equally, I don't, if you're not willing to change your tactics or change things up and you're too stubborn in your ways to actually do this and say, well, if plan A is not working, we're going to stick with plan A, then, you're just setting yourself up for failure.
Yeah, absolutely. This game could have huge implications on how long Ange does stay at Tottenham. So it will be a cracker, I think. But one player for Chelsea then, a positive point, is Enzo Fernandez. He's been pretty solid of late, obviously getting in and amongst assists and goal contributions. It wasn't that long ago that we were looking at him and talking negatively about him and sort of questioning his transfer fee and everything like that. What's changed with Fernandez? Why is he playing well all of a sudden?
That's a very good question. I mean, not much has really changed with him. He's still playing the same, very similar style that he has been. He's just suddenly found some consistency. That first half performance against FC Noah seemed to have really been that confidence boost that he needed. And I don't know if it was down to the way that Maresca wanted to play. He maybe fancied Lavia in there with his better ball retention, or Fernandez just needed a confidence boost. And that, a hat-trick of assists in the first half against admittedly lesser opposition, with all due respect to FC Noah, is going to be that confidence boost he needs. And you can see that it's having a real positive impact on him and the team as well. You look at the game against Villa where Caicedo was starting at right back. Admittedly, James was injured. Gusto had his issues, but previously you wouldn't have thought, he's going to try and shoehorn Caicedo into right back, which is a position he's played before. But previously you would have thought he might try and put Gusto back there. He might move Disasi out there, but he's decided to put Caicedo out there to keep Fernandez in midfield. And whatever Maresca's doing to bring out the best in Fernandez, he's gone from being, £100 million problem to looking really settled in this midfield. And, he's getting the goals and the assists, and it's what you want from a player in his position who has that range of passing that will help set your team on the front foot.
Yeah, absolutely. He's already got 3 assists in the Prem this season, which is the most he's ever totaled for Chelsea. He did get 5. For Benfica one season, I think. So he's well en route to basically having the best season of his career, which is obviously great news for Chelsea fans and coming at a very good time. But yeah, his fortunes seem to have turned, and it'll be interesting the impact he has on this game. Right, let's stop chatting about individual players. Let's jump in to score predictions. Are you going to be optimistic or are you going pessimistic here?
Pessimistic. I think Chelsea are winning this one 3-1.
Yeah, I think very similarly. I think Chelsea are going to score multiple times. I think this game has got goals in it, a lot of goals. 3-1 is not the worst shout. I might go for 4-1.
To Tottenham, right? To Tottenham?
Yeah, no. I'm going to go 4-1 to Chelsea. Same as last time. Hopefully not as many red cards for you guys, but I won't be upset if there is, because that was great fun to watch. With the incredibly high line with no one on the pitch is an interesting move. So I'll take that again if needs be. Right, last but not least, let's do our bet builders then. As always, we are using the WhoScored.com bet builder tool, which allows you to compare all of the UK's top bookmakers and get the best price for your bet builders. As ever, Ben's got a longer odds one. I've got a shorter odds one. Hopefully we can pick a winner this week. But take it away, Ben. Tell us what you're backing this weekend.
So I've obviously gone for the away win. A bit of a no-brainer. I think Chelsea are going to win. Obviously, Tottenham do have their knack for stepping it up when everything's against them. You look at the Man City game, they won 4-0. but I just can't see them getting a result. They're down to one centre back with Dragishin after Davies got a hamstring injury. Romero might be back, but I can't see anything beyond a Chelsea win. So Chelsea win. We talked about Enzo Fernandez. I've gone for him to have an assist. He's got 6 in his last 5. Caicedo over 1.5 fouls. He is averaging 2 fouls per game. And I've gone for Noni Madueke to have over 2.5 shots. He is averaging 3.2 per game. So that is coming at 33 to 1. Best price with Bet365 and a worst price of 18 to 1. So over double your money if that one comes in. Using the WhoScored bet builder, so make sure you use that to get the best odds.
Yeah, I echo everything you just said there. I completely agree, and I really like that bet. And the discrepancy in price there is wild. So, like, just use the tool. Just use the tool. I've started mine quite similarly to you. In fact, very similarly, because I've also gone for Chelsea to win. Aside from all the injury problems that you've already mentioned, Chelsea have a pretty good record against Spurs. They're undefeated in 16 of the last 17 meetings between these two sides, which, I was actually a little bit surprised.
I think they've won 4 of their last 5 games at Tottenham as well. So
exactly.
Reinforce that Chelsea win.
Reinforce that Chelsea win. I mean, I guess it bodes well that we're both on the same page there. But that's the start for me. I'm going for Nicholas Jackson, anytime scorer. As I already said, I think there are going to be lots of goals. And I think he, is probably, maybe second, but probably the most likely to score for Chelsea, maybe behind Palmer. He's played twice against Spurs. He's scored 4 times against Spurs. Now, I know we've already spoken about the 4-1 and that perhaps he wouldn't have had those goals if Spurs were at full strength. But look, he did get those goals. So I'm going for him to add to that tally. And finally, I'm going for Cole Palmer, over 1.5 shots. He's averaging 3.5 shots per game in the Premier League this season. So over 1.5 feels like pretty comfortable, to be honest. And as I said, I think Chelsea will get loads of chances and he's the main man. So you can imagine him shooting them off anytime he gets the ball on the edge of the box, as we saw last week when he scored a lovely goal. More of the same, I think, coming from Cole Palmer. 9 to 2, that pays, but is as short as 2 to 1 elsewhere. So although a little bit shorter than yours, Ben, still a huge price discrepancy there that makes doing that worthwhile. It literally took me a matter of seconds to bang in that bet builder, and I'm shown a massive price difference. So well worth the while. So please do go and use it. You really won't regret it. Before we say goodbye, please do make sure to gamble responsibly if you are betting or following us in on any of these bet builders. But most importantly, it's a quality weekend of Premier League football and even outside of the Premier League. So please do enjoy, and we'll catch you next time. Cheers, guys.